You don't owe anyone anything. I really wanted to make this video. It's been important to me for a while, and as I spoke about in a recent video, this is one of those videos that had sunk into the bottom of the to-do list of making videos until today, thankfully, finally. You don't owe anyone anything. This is so important to understand. No matter who you are, no matter what role you think you have, you fundamentally do not owe anybody anything. Specifically, what I'm talking about in this video is something which I actually don't know the ins and outs of it specifically. I simply know what it's about, and it's called the sunken cost fallacy. And what the sunken cost fallacy says is, well, what it is essentially the concept that of our resistance to change something that has been such a way for a certain period of time. I.e., for example, what do I mean? Let's say you've been in a marriage for 30 years. The sunken cost fallacy is feeling that because you've spent 30 years in that marriage, you have to stay because you owe it to that person to stay, no matter whether or not you're happy in that relationship. So that's what the sunken cost fallacy is. And yes, I wanted to make a video about it because I have lived the experience, friends. I have been in the situation of having been in an unhappy relationship and feeling like I've put so much into this. How dare I, give up on this person or whatever? And felt like, yes, I owed it to that person because of the love that I was given, that I owed it to them to stay, which is a really silly thing because I will tell you, if you stay in a relationship where you are unhappy, the longer that you stay in that, you're just really making yourself and actually that other person miserable, and you're holding each other back from expanding and growing. Because really, on a fundamental level, then you know that you two aren't compatible. And both of you, that probably just means there's a more aligned place for both of you to be. So the reason I wanted to make the video saying that you don't owe anyone anything is to, if you happen to find yourself, and again, I have been there. I assure you, I've been there. I have been there. Again, I have thought with many things in my life, not even just relationships, even in endeavors, been like, well, I've put in this much effort, so I can't quit now. No, understand, we have the power of choice, which means what? That we can choose to shift any part of our life at any point in time, and that is perfectly fine. Understand that it's a part of your journey to grow. We're not meant to stay stagnant. And as I think I've recently said in another video, we're not meant to be unhappy. We are actually meant to be here having fun. And yes, of course, life will always have the ups and downs because, again, as I've said before, would it really be fun if you knew exactly what was going to happen every day? You got up, you're like, oh, today's the day that I go and play the drums, and then I go have a coffee, and then I go to bed. Like, that sounds really boring. However, if you experience that in your life, and maybe you've been running along, you've been doing a whole lot of masculine activity type stuff, and then that day happens, when you actually experience that day, it is blissful. What I mean to say is you deserve everything in the world, and you do not owe anyone anything, and trust in divine timing that is there. The universe is always, always there. And even when something looks like it's coming crashing down, it is usually being restructured and rebuilt for something even better for you. And I sincerely mean that from the whole strands of my fibers of my being to the tips of my toes, head, shoulders, toes, knees, whatever, all of the bits. You don't owe anyone anything. And it's something that took me a really, really long time to get past, to get through, to understand that, in fact, no, I don't owe anyone anything just by being born. I don't owe anyone anything. That's every single human being has the same right to their life on earth. I really believe that. So I don't want to make this into a waffle, so I'll keep it nice and short. Understand that you too don't owe anyone anything. No matter how long you've been in a situation, you don't have to stay in that if it doesn't make you happy. You are allowed to pursue something else if it makes you happier. You are never, ever, ever, ever locked into something that doesn't fulfill you. It is in your best interest always to let go of and release things that are no longer in alignment with you, that are no longer serving you, as we always hear these days. So without turning this into a waffle, have a beautiful and blessed rest of your day. If you know anyone that this would help, please do share the video with them. It really helps me. Subscribe if you aren't. It really does also help out a small content creator like myself. And last but not least, if you need any support yourself along your journey, feel free to reach out here at this email address, and it would be my joy and honor to serve you. So have a blessed, beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you, beautiful cats, in the next video. Namaste, much love, and stay well. Bye. Just by being born, I don't owe anyone anything. You do not, fundamentally do not owe anybody anything. No matter what role you think you have. I have lived the experience, friends. When you actually experience that day, it is blissful. And I sincerely mean that from the whole strands of my fibers of my being to the tips of my toes, head, shoulders, toes, knees, whatever, all of the bits. Would it really be fun if you knew exactly what was going to happen every day